If you've seen any of our recent videos, you guys will probably know that I love the eBay side hustle. I know it's one of those businesses that you can grow to unbelievable heights and can even be an income replacer. And as somebody now who's owned 2 eBay shops, one which scaled to over 10,000 a month, and the second one that I have is now hitting £100 a day in sales or more, I know how this works, but I want to share this with you guys. I want to share how you guys can start making £100, $100, or whatever your currency is, a day using simply eBay. I think there's a lot of great tips that people miss when it comes to the whole eBay business, and if you watch this video till the end, I will assure you that there'll be a lot of great tips in here which could possibly change your financial prospects for the future. So if it's so easy to sell on eBay, why do so many people not make any sales? I think there is genuine reasons for this. I think everybody sells on eBay the wrong way, or at least most people do. Let's talk about where this all starts from. Most people don't see eBay as a viable business, just like they don't see YouTube as a viable business or any of these other money-making streams. Whereas some people make millions a year just by selling on eBay. It can be a genuine business for you, but you have to view it like that. Now, a genuine business requires things to be viewed in a specific way. We have to treat things with seriousness, have a plan of what we want to do, know how much money we want to make in what time period, and what work we want to put in. If we have a business plan to attack eBay with first, we will be able to scale our business much quicker. When I started my first account selling on eBay, it took me about 6 months to scale to the point where I was at 10,000. The first month I made £100, the second month I made £300, the third month I made 400, 500, so on. But this time, in the second month already, and we're on the 14th of the month, I've made £350. I've made already more than what I made in the second month of my first account in the first half of the second month. So we're probably going to make between £600 and £700 this month by selling on eBay in our second month. Going off the estimations that we're looking to see, within 60 days we've built a business which makes over £40,000 a year in revenue and does not intend to stop growing anytime soon. But the reason why we were able to get this done so quickly is because we stayed consistent with our listings, we knew what we wanted to do, and we grew our business in a way that would genuinely make it work. If you want to make full-time income from your side hustle, you must treat it like that. Have a business plan. What do you want to achieve? How is it going to be done? And how long is it going to take? And that's the absolute first and most basic step I would recommend to anybody trying to start on eBay. The second biggest step that I think anybody can take is profit, profit, profit. Now, what I mean by this is I see so many accounts on eBay. They'll sell me something like an iPhone charger or a Samsung charger for 50p. So £0.50 for those who are not in the UK. People who do this are not going to make any profit. Some people even sell these items at a loss to get feedback. Don't do this. There's no point doing it. Even though I've started my account on a brand new shop, all of my items are priced over £25. Nothing is cheaper than that. Because if I'm selling items for £5, £10, £15, I'm not going to have a decent profit margin. I aim for a minimum profit per item of £10. My ideal profit is between, say, £15 and £20. The reason for this is at £10, we need to sell 10 items a day to make £100 profit. That's completely realistic and can be done, and I've done it before. At £15, we need to sell even less, and again at £20, we only need to sell 5. So you see how having a decent profit margin can affect your business. And people might say, well, you're going to get less sales, but it doesn't matter. 5 sales a day at £20 is going to be enough to make us a full-time income. Now 10 sales a day at £20 is going to make us a better income than most people in the country. So it's not about trying to make hundreds of sales to build up massive amounts of feedback if your shop is not going to make profit. Focus on making profit here because you're not running a charity, you're running a business. Because you're running a business, you need to actually understand this. You are running a sales business, and a sales business requires customers. So when you get your customers, treat them right. Give them nice feedback, give them positive feedback if they're good customers, go above and beyond if you need to or if you can. People genuinely do notice this, and what happens then is your feedback builds up automatically because people actually respect your account, and then you start to get bumped up in the algorithm more and more people come through and more people buy from you because you are a trusted seller. In the past week on my fairly new account, I've gone from having only 5 feedback to having 10 feedback, but that's been enough to change our sales from maybe 2 a week to more like 2 or 3 a day, because people now trust our account much more because we have 10 people who have given us seller feedback, so we've been the seller, and we are now looking like more credible accounts to buy from. It shouldn't be our sole intention to look for feedback, that's why I put it mid-tier on this list kind of, but I think it is still pretty up there. I'd focus on making profitable sales first, but once you do that, once you get to that point, just try and make the customer happy, because it is going to massively impact your feedback, and you don't really want to get negative feedback, especially if you're on a new account. One of the biggest things that people often fail with is staying consistent, and this really affects your account more than you will ever know. I told one of my friends about the whole eBay business that I'm running, and I showed him how to list items. So one day he gets to work and starts listing 20-30 items in a day. I come back a week later, the account's dead, no one's viewing it on a day-to-day basis, and I say what went wrong. And then I have a look through the account myself, and I can see one thing's clear. This day's got 10 listings on it, the next 5 days have got no listings on. The day after that's got 10 listings on, so the views figures go like that. Once there's no listings, eBay stops bumping your account as much, so if you want to stay consistent in the algorithm, I would definitely recommend uploading items every single day. I'd aim to upload 3 items a day at the minimum. I personally try and aim for between 5 and 7. It depends what your business model is, how much capital you have, and also what your selling limits are. But I think for a new seller, just try focus on uploading between 1 and 3 items a day. For an intermediate, go for about between 4 and 7, and for a more high level seller, when you get to that level where you are making 5-10,000, or you aim to want to make that per month, I then start to list between 10 and 15, because if you're making 5,000, 10,000 a month, that is a big business, a full-time income, so you'll probably have to put in more work to get to that high-end level. But don't just go listing any old junk, because it will not sell. I see so many listings on eBay that are just done improperly because people don't understand how the eBay search algorithm works. The eBay search algorithm works on key terms. So let's say, for example, I wanted to sell this USB adapter. It's simply put an iPhone adapter into a USB Type-C. If I wanted to sell this, I could easily put this on eBay as USB adapter. That's it. But that's not going to sell. If you look at most of eBay's top selling items, the one where it says this has sold 5 times, 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, there's often one thing in common. A lot of the titles do not make sense to read, but they work perfectly in the algorithm. So take this adapter for example. Like I said, we could just call it a USB-C adapter, but let's think about what we could actually call it. We could call it USB lightning adapter for iPhone, aluminium silver. All of these little keywords are going to help us. You've got 70 characters to make an eBay title, so try use as many of them as possible and try fit in as many keywords as possible. Add as many item specifics as you can. I think it all helps. We need to be in eBay's good books in terms of the search algorithm, because if nobody's searching our account, we can't make sales because there's not the eyes on it for people to buy. And optimizing our listings properly is one of the easiest ways to bump our impressions figures and our views figures very, very quickly. Now for a bit more of a background thing, but I think another huge thing about eBay is understand that this is a business properly, understand that this is a long-term investment of your time, and understand that this is something which could massively influence your future. I see people who expect to get rich in a day. I see people who never want to get rich because of the way they act with it. If you want to make eBay a full-time business, or at least something which you can have on the side to make a genuine income and a decent income, you've got to take it seriously. Like I said earlier, both map out your business plan, but understand, hey, just like a job, just like a business, I might have to work on this 50 minutes a day, an hour a day, 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day. And that's an unfortunate thing. As this business does scale, you are going to have to put in a little bit more work. Like, yes, you do your 5 listings per day maybe, or your 10 listings per day, and then you've got to fulfill all the orders. Now week 1, that might be 1 order, takes 5 minutes. Week 2, that might be 10 orders. Week 30, you might have to process 100 orders a day. Now understand that this is now more of a job, and we can employ people, we can get people to manage our account, all that sort of stuff. That's far down the road, but understand that there is going to be a period where it's going to change if you want to take this seriously. Now you can get to a point where you just start to maintain your business at 5 sales a day, 10 sales a day, if that's what you're comfortable with. But scaling this business is something which is more difficult, takes time, but does require you to be aware that it is a business and needs to be treated like one. There's lots of tips that we can use when it comes to scaling our inventory, growing our account, and I'd like to make that sort of video in a different topic, but this one I just want to talk about some of the easiest tips that people often miss when it comes to building a genuine business. So if you want to make 100 a day, 1,000 a day, 10,000 a day, these are some of the tips that you're going to have to incorporate into your business. It's got to become more serious, it's got to be seen as a business. This is not a hobby, it can be a side hustle, but even that should require some work. eBay is a great capital building business. It's not like the stock market where you just put money in, come back in 6 months, so you've made basically free money for doing nothing. With a business like this, it's hands-on. You have to spend some time with it. But it's that part of the process that you need to understand and be comfortable with. This is going to take some time, and it could grow to something where you do see it as a genuine job. So if you're not prepared for that, maybe it's time to look for a different business model, because there are going to be a lot of challenges, a lot of hurdles, and even as much as I can talk about things that you can do to make the process easy, there's going to be things that I don't even expect. I've spoken about this in previous videos. There's going to be things that pop up, things that change, and that's just part of running this business. So I guess that's what I'd say to be wary of. But apart from that, eBay, great business to start, and anybody can do it really with a simple computer, a few items to sell, and access to the internet. So thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye for this one. Goodbye.
You know I'm finna shine. Hey, let's make a bet. I bet I win this time. Put it on the line.